confirm it?
Yeah, I'm able to see the screen.
Okay, thank you very much for the confirmation. Let me introduce myself, Manjunath, and I'll be taking care of Azure AI Security. Azure Cloud with AI Security. So we'll talk about how we can able to understand the security in the AI system under Microsoft Azure.
Okay.
So let's go to the next slide. So we'll talk about introduction about the AI security, AI systems process sensitive data, ensuring the data protections, model integrity, safe usage, and important due to cyber threats and privacy laws. So in the introduction about the AI security, we'll check that any sensitive data, if it is detected, our AI should be detect and it should be send a email to that the team or who is managing the application or any source repository. So they have to take the immediate action. So how we can able to integrate with the models. So that is what I'm also going to talk about. If you wanted to any data productions like third party also we can able to use it, or we can able to create we have own agent for the data security. This is also we are going to talk about. Next one is we'll talk about what is Azure AI and what are the AI services in the Azure, like from where we need to start from machine learning, cognitive services, OpenAI. These are all the Azure AI services. So we can able to use it in the chatbots and we can able to use it in the vision analytics. These are all the areas we can able to use the Azure AI. And moving to next slide. So why do we require AI security measures? So prevents the data leaks, hacking, unauthorized access, protect the privacy and business data. So this is the reason we are going to use the AI security. Okay. Any questions till now?
No questions, man.
Yeah. So now I'll talk about key security challenges. So we talk about in the key security challenges, data poisoning, model theft, and advisable inputs or bias, unauthorized API access. These are the things we talk about. And next, I'll move on to the Azure AI security principles. Like we are going to talk about these services like identity and access management, and data protection, threat detection, and responsible AI and compliance. So these are all the security principles I'm going to talk about. And if you're talking about specifically identity and access management, so by default we have a Azure AD. So we'll connect it with RBAC and we're going to enable the MFA. These are all the operations things. So if it is more than that, if anybody wanted to access it, okay, how we can able to use IAM with the AI, how we can able to identify. So ensures we are going to give the authorized access only for the particular user. And data security. So if you're talking about data securities, there is a lot of things are there. We'll talk about encryption of the data and the storage and data anonymization. Okay. So these are the things I'll talk about. And network security, if you wanted to build it, implement on the your VNet or private endpoints or firewall, or if you wanted to any block unauthorized access also, we'll talk about in the network security. So threat detection, so we are going to use it Azure Defender and monitoring for the alerts and AI-based authentication. If any alert triggered, okay, so don't want to set up any alerts, all those things. So you need to just AI-based authentication or detection, you need to enable it so that is it audible, guys?
Yeah, it's audible.
Okay, thanks for the confirmation. I'm talking about threat detection, Azure Defender, monitoring alerts, and AI-based detection also we are going to talk about. And responsible AI, fairness and transparency and accountability. So who is uh, which agent it is going to be, accountability, the transparency. Okay, each steps we are going to use the agents. And the main concern is for every companies, they are talking about compliance, right? So we are going to use it Azure policy and compliance manager for the Azure AI only. So the security, I mean, perspective of compliance. So if you wanted to securing the models, okay, if you are creating your own models, how we can able to secure it, secure the data, monitoring the performance, protect the APIs, okay. So if you are using our own models, yes, these are all it is mandatory. If you are using a third party models, no need to use it. And next, I'm going to talk about Azure OpenAI security. So content filtering and abuse monitoring, controlled access. These are all the things I'm going to show it you how we can able to do it after the given access to the user. So the best practice is strong authentication, encrypt the data and monitor it and list privileges. Okay. So these are all the best practice when you are implementing the AI security. So a real world example, okay, we can able to create it. I have given it here is bank chatbot, the IA, and how we can able to log in with MFA and the encryption monitoring. We are going to talk about, but this use for the Azure, right? So we'll take one of the example, for example, um, virtual machines or any of the services. One services we can able to take example how we can able to secure it with the enable. So they can able to enable it using your MFA and encryption and monitoring. These are all things we will talk about in the real world example. And futures of AI security. So AI driven security, regulation, ethical AI. So these are all the future of the securities. And summaries is AI security is critical. Azure provides the tools, focus on the protection and controls. So that is for the Azure AI security. If you have any questions, please go ahead and let me know. I can help you to answer.
Okay, so these are all the I mean the syllabus which you covered for Azure security.
No,
But
this is not the syllabus.
I
I'm
mean the
just talking about.
what we are going to cover. Example, if you proceed for Azure AI security, but in terms of okay, Azure AI security, how do we achieve? How do we incorporate AI into the Azure that into the security? That's right, because
So
see
what
on yeah.
we are going to do, we will build a chatbot application and we will enable it. Okay, and all the services, whatever services you wanted to, uh, AI should be AI chatbot should be auto remediate it. Okay, that is what we need to do it. Okay, front end and back end. I'm going to show you how to build AI apps and integrate with your Azure cloud. So then, if you are asking, for example, if you're asking what is a uh, mm, IP address or what is the port number it is allowed for this specific instance, or can you go and check it the server is patches is
Okay.
applied or not, or any vulnerability, go and check it out. Okay, this will go and it will just check that how many vulnerabilities are there and what is the steps to remediate it. These are all our chatbot, it will do it. So we need to integrate it for that. So we need a AKS cluster or we can able to build it on the virtual machines. Okay. We need to host it in the your environment and that should be authenticated with your cloud.
Okay. Mean to say, because as per what you said, so when we integrate this tool, suppose AKS cluster, right? The cloud AKS cluster is running, Kubernetes cluster. If we just,
Correct.
I mean, if we just mention to scan, this AI tool will go and scan the AKS cluster with respect to port numbers. What example, there are some couple of ports are open. I mean, the 443 and another internal ports. And the internal ports has to be disabled. Okay, example, suppose 9191, it shouldn't be open. So it can go and fetch, scan the AKS cluster ports and then gives a report with the port number 911 open. So that is that it can give, okay, the port has to be disabled, or it also goes and disable the port. That is what is just extracting the report, which are the ports open. That means normal security tools also doing the same, right?
Yeah, that is why we are going to implement the AI apps. Okay, for example, the port is enabled
Mm, mm,
publicly, or any
mm,
specific port is opened without notification, right? Any
mm,
port
mm.
is open or any IP address is open, the email should comes to your email ID.
Okay,
Okay, you
okay,
can decide it is required or not.
okay. Once the email will be generated with the port is open. Okay, what is the next action plan? By the AI.
Next, yes, next if you wanted to let it be there, it will not do any action. Okay.
Okay.
If you are accepted or if you are approved, so that
Mm.
will go and it will delete it. Okay.
Delete means AKS cluster level. It will the AI tool will access the AKS cluster, which is the pod is open the port number, and
Yeah.
then disable or disable the port, is it, or delete what?
Yeah, that see that is what we should rate it. Okay. It should be
Mm.
delete the pod or it should be stopped it. Okay. That we need to decide it. We need to write a Python code for that in the back end, like
So we
static.
okay. So we are the AI of SIM.
No, we need to rate it because you are
Okay.
going to build the agent, right?
Mm. Okay. So example. Okay. The port level. So
Uh,
for learning, I mean, for going to the AI security, so we need to learn the Azure, I mean, the AI also, is it AI ops? Because I don't have any knowledge on AI.
See, if you do not know any knowledge on the AI, you should start do it. Okay, at least you need to attend the classes. I need to do the some practice. Then live use cases. Obviously, you are working on the company, right? So how do
Hmm.
we automate it? That you need to decide it. Okay, we can give it one or two examples, but in
Hmm.
your company, you need to see it.
Yeah.
This is going to be useful in our organization. That you need to think it yourself, right?
That is
So
true.
that
That is
is
true.
depends on with you.
Hmm.
So we can show it to one or two use cases. Okay. Like how to create the AKS cluster, how to deploy the AI chatbots. Okay.
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
to traffic it will come to your AKS cluster, how it is going to be automated. Okay. So one or two use cases you can be able to do it, but more related security, these things, it should be done by in the maybe it will be not available for your access. If you have access, you can do it. Otherwise, you need to pass on to the security team saying that these are all the vulnerabilities are detected. Please go and do it. Okay. If they are given the access to your agents, yes, you can configure the credentials, everything in the pod. I mean the agent it will recognize it when there is alert. Automatically it will resolve it. Okay.
Okay.
That you
Okay.
need to decide it depends on how critical. Like a critical, medium, small will be there, right? Like a severity 1, severity 2, 3, 4. That is also you can able to decide it.
Hmm. Okay. So, okay, I got it now. So now, as part of training, we will cover the AI also, or whatever necessary to learn, or is separate. I need to learn.
Yeah, see, I'll tell you what is the output of this session.
Hmm.
So you are going to create the chatbot like ChatGPT or any other, okay?
Hmm.
You are going to integrate with your Azure AI Foundry. Okay, that is also fine. If you are not looking like using Python, we can able to create the agents and we can deploy into the AKS cluster. If the pod is failed, how to remediate it. So two, three use cases I can able to show it to you, right? So later you need to implement it. So out of the box, you are going to build a AI chatbots for your company with the high security. Okay, the data it should not go out of your AKS cluster. It should be within the AKS cluster because security is very important, right? If it is going out of the your AKS cluster publicly, then your data is going to be read right.
Okay.
Yeah. So end of the session, you can expect at least you are going to deploy the AI chatbots. That is what I can give the assurance. Maybe a little bit take some time and try to see the company environment can able to adapt this one or not. You need to analyze it. Okay,
Okay.
but you
Yeah,
should
that
start
will
from
be.
the at least
Mm,
basic.
mm.
Okay, any questions other than any doubts or you have any clarity?
I think okay. So no questions.
Yeah. I can assure you that how to build the AI apps for your organization. Okay.
Mm, okay, got it, got it. Okay, that's what I think. So because my environment is a cloud, Azure cloud.
Hmm.
I mean, example, there are the CWPs or Defender. These are the tools are there. They continuously monitor all the scans, all the systems, AKS clusters,
Ah.
applications, everything, and then generates the report. Then
Hmm.
the governance will be, example, say there are some vulnerabilities may be flagged out. The
Hmm.
governance team can monitor and verify the report manually, and they can inform us each team has to, mitigate or remediate the vulnerabilities by upgrading or whatever. So,
Everything, all these things, you should know manual steps. Okay. Then
mm,
you can
mm,
able to do it. If you do not know manual steps, you cannot remediate it. So what I can do, I can create a AKS cluster. If the
mm,
pod is down, we are going to uh, delete the pod and we'll bring back the application. That is the one use cases I can show it to. Okay. Other like two, three items I can able to show it to you.
okay. Mm. Okay, I'm sure. I think I'm.
Because we do
Mm,
not have any qualies or any vulnerability. If you are creating any of the resource in the your Azure cloud, as of now, you will not able to detect the vulnerability, right?
mm,
So once
true,
the
true.
vulnerability is generated, you will get to know how do we remediate it. But when you are
Mm,
creating a new resource in the Azure, you will not face any issues. Okay.
mm,
Maybe we can able to see the troubleshooting steps we can able to help you. But company they are using a qualys for the vulnerability. Okay, maybe they have installed it inside that. That will detect and it will send it. Then again you need to integrate, right? Those are
yeah.
all live, it is not possible because we do not have any license to buy it in the qualys, right? To
Mm,
integrate with Azure. So we are going to integrate the chat apps like a AI chatbot in your Azure account, and you can do whatever you want. Okay, how many vulnerabilities are there for the virtual machine? You can just go and ask for you need to put the prompt. It will give overall details or how many machines are there. Can get the details or security, which is the one is open for public 00. Can you identify it? Yes, these are all it will do it. Lot of use cases are there, but at least try from the start. Once you get the idea, maybe get just go for some advanced level. Okay, so you need to start from the basic. Otherwise, it is not possible. You cannot go and build agents in the top of that. Again, you need to come back to the Python. You need to write it down the custom agents. Or if you do not require any custom agent, you can able to use third party also. Many things are there. Okay.
got it. Yeah.
Any question other than?
No, no, I think I'm good.
Okay. If anything, just drop a message. We'll
Sure.
see it.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have
Sure.
any uh, uh, topics need to be covered, just send a message to the team. They'll let you know. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So, Satish,
Mm,
thanks
thanks.
for the joining. So, we'll
Bye.
start up for the call.
Okay.
Okay.